starting. I totally forgot to set that up.
Amanda, you...
It's okay. It's okay. Because all I have to do is watch stream. That's literally all I gotta do. I think. Anyways, I'm live. I hope everyone else is alive.
I am...
I'm a little unhinged tonight. So I just panicked and hit start because it was 10 o'clock. So that's where we're at tonight, guys. It's where we're
I just... You're...
First of all,
I appreciate you very much. Would you
STCC
like me
is live at readers. Ooh, I forgot how to do this, and I forgot to set up my other thing. I've been trying to catch up on everything, guys. It's been redonkulous. And for some reason, my avatar has decided that I have resting bitch face today.
You know, that's okay. You're allowed.
So unless I'm smiling, it's like mad.
Grrr.
Grrr. I assure you I'm not mad at you guys. My avatar is just having a day. But so am I. So am I.
You're just... It's one of those types of days, that's all.
Yeah.
You know, but it's okay. Honestly, when you're not, like, smiling and you're, like, just standing there, it's not even that, like, you look mad most of the time. I mean, I gotta, like, look at it when you're not.
No, it keeps doing this face.
Okay, yeah, no. It definitely... Yeah, it looks...
I have to be smiling.
Yeah, because there was a moment where it just looked more like a pout. Like, oh.
Oh, yeah, that's... Oh. It has a pout. So, excuse me while I pretend I have my life together, guys. Hey there, Z.
Hey, Z. Good to have you.
On the bright side, I remembered to, at least, mute my copyrighted music that I was listening to.
I'm so proud of you.
Well, what do we want to put on? Do we want to put on the Lord of the Rings one, or...?
You know, that's just... it's a very good question.
We'll put on, the Viking music, the epic battle music. No, we'll go with the fantasy medieval tonight. Okay, that might be loud. I'm not quite sure if it is.
A little bit loud.
Okay, let me fix. There we go.
I don't know for sure. Hold on.
I put it at what I normally play with the game volume on. So, hopefully that will do. That'll do fine, donkey. Turn it down a little more, though. So tonight
I think it was actually...
I'm turning it down for my own sanity. It's
okay,
not... It's... I don't know. It'll be fine.
Okay.
As soon as I remember how to actually do this. My avatar looks very mad tonight. How you doing, Z?
He's just angry.
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 Okay. But anyways.
Look at, I'm sorry, I just gotta say, I love the difference in your, like, art quality now.
I know, right? I gotta redo this picture.
Mm-hmm.
As good as I can be, tired and worn. Well, I'm glad you're here.
We're glad you're here, yeah.
My avatar looks inappropriately mad. Trust me, I'm not mad at you.
Just furious.
With myself. Okay, so, something to note. I apparently didn't fix the whole entire setup after I changed the chat bubble thing. So we have a floating cease.
We have a floating everything. Like, this is
what happened?
I don't know. I thought you had this all settled.
Oh, I know what happened with the Discord thing. Sorry, guys. This is...
Oh my god. Z, no. Spray bottle. Where's the spray bottle?
I'm
looking for a friggin...
Do I pop this out? Oh god. I did the wrong thing, guys. enjoy my
Z, I don't have a spray bottle, so you're getting fireballed.
Okay, hold on. I gotta let's give it a happy face. Welcome to my Discord, guys. This is just how tonight is gonna go.
Hun.
I thought I had this. I really did. It's been so long.
I had so much faith in you.
I had faith in myself. What do you mean you? Oh, that's not the right way to go.
Okay, Z, why are you on fire?
'Cause it's Z. Z is hot like that. Boom, shh. It's okay. You're enjoying the stars up there.
I am.
Okay. So I'm so sorry, guys. I am so not here tonight. I thought I was...
He's had a day.
I got so caught up in getting everything else done that I fucked this all up. So, you really set yourself on fire today? How?
Why?
I need to hear about this. As I fix my bullshit.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's see. We're having issues tonight, guys.
I just, here I am, just doing my best.
Let me see how bad this one's fucked up too. Oh look, your tarot cards are still there. There you go. This one isn't fucked up successfully, at least.
So that was a chance for me to shill my tarot readings, because that's definitely what everybody wants to hear about.
Okay,
tonight.
yeah, you can go on about that while I fix this shit.
Alright, well, actually, I will just do a little brief thing then, since you're doing that. So, a couple changes are coming up to, well, actually, they have happened on my Patreon. So now my Patreon subscribers actually get to request a free tarot or oracle dice reading based on their tier. So instead of just you get a one-time oracle dice reading for subscribing to my Patreon, you get one every month because they're valued at that. So why the hell not? And yeah, I've got a tarot deck now that I've been in love with. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of practice with it, so I could use some more. Z says his lighter exploded in his hand and set his arm hair on fire.
Ouchie.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
I don't know what to do with that information. I feel like I should add another picture over here, guys. What do you think?
Wait, wasn't the chat over on that?
Oh, yeah, the chat is there. It's not stagnant on this one. Let me see if I could change that real quick.
Okay.
I'll just take away the disappearing part of it for this, Sorry, I'm just trying to remember how to use this site. I say, like, I don't use it all the fucking time.
Oh, hon.
Okay, we're having issues. Topography.
Yeah. Z says no worse than being fire flogged, just not as control. I'm fire flogged?
A kink.
I am in a calm mental place. I am relaxed.
Fade in.
I am standing beneath an open field of stars. And Z's arm is naked. That is phrasing.
Is it smooth?
That I wanted to hear. That is true. It probably is smooth. I love how your character's like face lit up with that question too. Like, is it smooth?
Alright. I think,
Very smooth and soft, surprisingly. That's like when I use my nice freaking salt sugar scrub that Amanda got
Baba
me.
Booey, Baba Booey.
That I love. I use that like every night
Okay,
now.
good.
Not everything,
It
but
looks
a lot
like
of
it's
nights.
working now.
Yay! Although it's funny because like on my end, if I'm looking at the Twitch chat, which is on like on my screen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it like where it actually is like on the desktop site.
I look so concerned about the chat that's appearing on the thing. Now I just look like I'm having a crisis.
Poor thing.
Which I mean,
you are having a crisis.
I like how it just says very smooth and surprisingly soft. But where does the chat show up on here? Someone send a message. Let's send a virtual hug message. Okay, cool.
Oh, that's a lot better
it's showing
than
up on both sides. That's nice. I'm sorry,
the heart
guys.
is a lot better than what I was going to say.
A penis? Nipple salads. Okay, that's something. So welcome to the unhinged part of the stream. I hope you're all enjoying it.
A great start.
For some reason I don't even know how this chat box is appearing twice when it's only on the thing once.
I don't even know what to tell you there.
You know, we're just gonna delete that.
That's fine.
Let's see. And it's still showing up, but what? How is there? I don't understand.
That is something.
You know what? We can fix this. We have the tools to fix this. We just unlock that layer and switch it over there. And we just cover up our problems. We just make it a little bigger.
I am so proud of you.
I just realized I need to update your book cover anyway.
Yes, you do.
You need to send that to me so I can fix that at some point.
Okay, yes.
I'm just gonna make it real big and square. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
There you go. Now we won't see the mistake.
My God.
Virtual hug. Damn it. Boop. Is it not showing now?
It is not showing. You are fine, and I want to give you a hug. Z has already seen the mistake.
Oh, I know. I'm trying, guys. I really am. The Aphuanian by cutoff. We'll be fine. Actually.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine, guys. That's fine.
Fine, hiccups happen, Z says.
I appreciate your understanding. Because my life is a hiccup. Okay, we're almost done fixing this, guys. I promise. I don't know. Is this entertaining watching me trying to figure out what the fuck I'm doing?
I'm always entertained by you, so I'm kind of biased.
Ah, I see. So we're gonna copy this from this overlay. I just realized this isn't gonna work well. No!
No.
Control Z. There we go. Control Z. What does that do? It brings Z into the program?
Does it really?
No. It'd be funny though.
Z just randomly shows up. Hey everybody.
Z just pops up on screen. I am here. Like Clippy. From back in the day. Clippy.
Yeah. But you know that they're bringing Clippy back, right?
They are?
Yeah. Hold on. It was announced a couple weeks ago. Microsoft is bringing back Clippy. And see.
We are so close to being okay. There we go. Ha ha ha!
Beautiful.
We did it, guys. We got him.
So proud of you. I always deleted him. Oh my god. Z just like is about to have a rage. He's about to go on a rant against her Clippy.
But Clippy. How could you not love Clippy? Clippy loves you.
So, apparently, it might actually be less of the Clippy has, is like coming back, but more, that he's coming in as an emoji.
Oh, now I'm upside down. We got this. There we go.
Oh man. Good lord.
But we need Clippy. Oh god, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, apparently Clippy is going to be replace the paperclip emoji in Microsoft
Oh god,
products.
this was a terrible
That's all.
link to use. Ta-da! Clippy! In case anyone was confused. Why am I flipping off people? Clippy!
Z says my axe is sharpened, my mind is keen, my eyes focused as death was sharp from the start. Good lord, man.
The amount of concern I have for things at the moment. But we should probably get this shit started. Because I've delayed this
We're
long
only
enough.
17 minutes in.
Really?
Why?
Oh my god. Oh, I'm disappointed in myself so much today. This is almost as disappointing as fucking up so many times.
That was hilarious.
Alright, anyways, so, welcome to Storytime Chit-Chat the 19th! Very exciting, woo! We are covering the trial tonight, so, courtroom drama. So for this courtroom drama, you may want to leave if you haven't read up to the story, but, otherwise...
Yeah, there's just some pretty big spoilers happening right now.
My wrist just did a full 360.
Yeah, my my avatar freaked out for a second there too, but
Okay.
that I was grabbing another soda.
Alright, so we're gonna start off with chapter 56. 56. 56. Okay, praying gods. Praying gods. They pray. They pray. Wait, why are gods praying? That's concerning, isn't it? I hope it is.
They're praying the gay away.
That's never happening. I mean, especially with the way that Cora is with Axis. Let's be real here.
Especially the way the author is.
Anyways, appearing characters is Flora, Axis, Cora, Kuro, and Lars. Lars is here! Anyways, no god chat because the gods are actually showing up. Haha. Anyways, so the chapter starts out with Flora coming to after, like being out for those few days after, Bazaar kicked her ass. And she finds herself in her old room at Kuro's clinic. And she hears Axis being Axis. And we hear that Axis has been setting shit on fire with his emotions because he's so angry because he's Axis. Ah! Anyways, and Kuro's been trying to wrangle the Phoenix. However, Kuro shortly after, like, his yelling back and forth with him or whatever, it discovers that Flora has woken up. And Axis, like, is, like, so quick to come into the room and just, like, shove Kuro out of the way and just, like, plop down beside her because he's a good little dog. But in this chapter, we see Flora struggle with a panic attack because she has no idea what's going on. And Kuro walks her through a coping technique that Axis ignored during his own panic attack. That's heavily implied, at least that bit. His axis of emotions is off center. Ha! You're right. That's funny.
That's good. That was really good.
So anyways, Flora's been out for a few days, as I said, and she is getting increasingly upset during this scene that no one is telling her much of anything. And, shortly after, like, she, like, flips out on them, Kuro reveals to her and Axis that Allura is going to stand trial in Menshio's asylum. Menshio is the goddess the goddess, the god, the god of knowledge.
He can be a goddess if he wants to. I support her transition.
He just wants to be a dragon.
That's fair.
He's honestly, I don't think he really cares about anything.
Ah, yes,
like
the
that.
3 genders: man, woman, and dragon.
Yes, according to Mentio, that's how it is.
That's fair.
That's how it is now, and all the others.
It's like that.
There's there's more, but anyways. So Axis flips out because, Kuro told him he didn't know where Allura was because he was trying to get the guy to stop setting everything on fire and sit down and maybe take a nap because all of his bones are like fractured and shit. So Kuro told him, the lie comes to light, and Kuro's like, no shit, Sherlock, you can't handle the truth as you are anyway. And so Kuro waited until Flora could be actually awake, so so she'd be there, so they could handle the truth together, hopefully, and not like...
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Axis really couldn't, honestly.
Probably not, no. Good call on Kuro.
So just before the reveal, though, Lars shows up, which was handy dandy like a notebook, because Flora lost control of her darkness for a moment because she got really upset, and it's kind of like I just inked.
But
I
want to
you want
point
to
out that Lars was extremely funny in this chapter.
He is very funny in the next chapter.
Oh, the next chapter, that's right, yeah.
Or the chapter, next chapter.
He's just very funny in general in these 3 chapters.
Yeah, he is a good star. So then Kuro goes on to explain that the council that is leading the trials are the ancients, which include Mentio, god of knowledge, Anima, goddess of life, Morsimum, god of death, and Avarice, the first god. And they're all like, he's not showing up. And after this explanation, Axis is ready to charge headfirst into, Allura's rescue. And Lars and Kuro is like, yeah, that ain't happening, bub. But boop, Core appears and whisks Axis away. And it's at this point that Kuro is like, I think I know who that was, but I don't want to be right. And the chapter ends with Larcilla saying, a god praying? Now that's rich. And good news, though, from this chapter is Larcillus is totally okay if Axis is gay. He supports it. He ain't judging.
That's true.
He literally says, I ain't gonna judge you.
That's true.
He's something you want to tell me, boy? I mean, I ain't gonna judge.
Diversity win, the god of fire that completely
the Phoenix
destroyed the Phoenix god of fire and of the sun that completely flipped around the entire way that the world works and is has very douchey moments, is not homophobic.
Well, I mean, think about it. He's also not worried about giving mortals power. All the other gods were freaking out about it. He's like, no, it'll be fun. Let them have their fun. It'll be fine. And it was not fine, but it was fun and traumatizing. So, Kuro's suspicions here come up in, Kuro's suspicions here come up in a fan-submitted question, which was, did Kuro have an idea on who Core was at this point? What gave it away? Or did he think Core was someone else? And, Core's true identity is revealed in chapter 58, which will be at the end of this these chapter discussions. So but it's a huge thing, so
very big
spoiler
thing, yeah.
Anyway, what I was saying is yes, Kuro did have an idea of Core's true identity, and what gave it away was a couple of things. Number 1, the audacity of this bitch. Meaning, Core just waltzed in, ignored 2 gods to go confront 3 ancient council gods, with Allura's lover. He just, came and kidnapped Axis.
Excuse me, I'm borrowing this. Takes Axis and leaves.
He's just like, oh yeah, she killed someone? Let me just take her boyfriend. And I'm gonna go solve things. Don't worry, guys. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. 2.
I'm gonna wait until the end of it, but I have a comment for after the last chapter.
The ability to teleport. That has been a ability that's been exclusive to the gods up to this point in the story. And that remains the case. For now. We'll see. We'll see if things change. Anyways, number 3. The unique flavor of embers to Kor's magic. He has been the only person to use embers as like a form. Like you see the sparks and you know with all the fire magic and stuff, but you don't see anything just be straight up embers except for Kor. So it's just a little different, you know. But it's just that he has a unique flavor that doesn't match any of the other gods, is the thing, you know? So despite the time since Abervis's last appearance, though, like this is the big thing about it, is despite the time since Abervis's last appearance, the gods can still recognize him. So you gotta keep in mind that Larsolus and Sanakiro both know of the world's resets, and really the only god not really acquainted, you know, with Abervis is Gratianon. So, and I'm not even 100% sure on that. I think that's the case. If any god doesn't know Abervis, hasn't seen him, it would be Gratianon, because he's the youngest. But
I'll say, as far as I'm aware, there are no gods that are not acquainted with Abervis other than Gratianon that we know of.
I mean, there's no gods that... All the gods know of Abervis's existence, but they have all met him, too. They know him, they were there, they were present for the resets, or at least one of the resets, you know. So Kor is like, I saw those embers, and I'm pretty sure I know who that is. Especially with the audacity that he has, and he just zomped out of here like that. Which, so it's time to go into chapter 57, which is titled Introductions. And we have a long list of appearing characters.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, ready? Axis, Kor, Allura in the Abyss, unconscious Allura in real person, Mentio, Gratianon, Noxera, Nexiva, Amarember, Morsimo, Masterior, Viserys, Sanakira, Luna, Norma, Rixacalis, and Mindavis.
I feel like you could have like made a song with that.
I ain't that fancy. I'm a writer, not a songwriter.
I think you're
anyway, no god chat because all the gods are unseen.
They're right there. They are right there, front and center.
The chapter starts off with Axis and Kor in the mountains near Mentio's asylums. Because Kor got a little turnaround, and we see that Kor is pretty amorous towards Axis, which brings up another fan question. How freaked out was Axis when Kor kept calling him my love? Axis is very unsettled over this, honestly, but for more reasons that you won't know until chapter 61, which releases next Friday for Tapas and Wattpad for free, but you can find out tonight at midnight if you subscribe to Patreon. Assuming you send me your email and I can get you the access to it. Otherwise, you'll find out tomorrow.
Yes. I want to say, by the way, Amanda, I am very pleased with the way that you're mixing the questions in now.
Yes, that came as a suggestion from Z, and I started doing it with the last 2 Storytime Chit-Chats, except the last one didn't really have questions that were weavable like this were so much. So
yeah, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I actually, I sit down on my Discord server and with my friends and I ask them, what would be better ways, do you like the discussion that I do of it? What else would you, if you wanted it done a different way, what would you want me to say about the chapters? If you want me to focus on character development, pointing out and stuff, I'm more than happy to tailor this shit to your wants. Like, I'm just gushing over my own shit here, and if you direct it, I'm more than happy to.
Yes.
Like, anyways, after an unsatisfactory explanation from Kor telling Axis, I love you because Al does, the two continue their way, and the narration shifts to the Abyss to check up on our fallen hero. Allura is holding seeds of hope, and she is rebuilding her lost island. In this scene, we have the confession from her that she would damn anyone and everyone to protect Flora and Axis. And that includes... Oh, wow, my face is doing weird things. And that includes...
What was that?
I don't know. This is partly why I keep contemplating going real camera instead of avatar, just because it's such a pain in the ass to get everything set up all the time, right?
Oh yeah, and then we can make your face go red on stream.
Yeah. I've had a mixed response of what to do. Pretty much but the one consistent response is do what your anxieties want. And I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, seriously, genuinely, very happy.
It means so much to me that you guys are all like, do what you're comfortable with, Hope. I'm like, oh, my heart. Mm-hmm. So Alora's holding the seeds of hope, blah, blah, blah. In the scene, we have the confession. And the scene ends with her basically saying, I can accept whatever fate I have to, as so long as Flora and Axis are safe. And that's really all she cares about. She would sacrifice a child probably if it meant that it would save the two of them. Like, let's be real here. Alora is a hero, but a hero with shifting morals. It's not that she has bad morals or that she has great morals or good or even gray. They are just constantly shifting to be whatever they need to be so that she can make sure that what she cares about survives to see the next day. And she even says during that scene, you know, that for all the people that she saved, she would give up. She would re-damn them if it meant saving Axis or Flora. That's all. She's like, if I was God for a day. And I really meant to put a note in my thing for it.
Z says narrow scope of caring. And I would say that's not entirely accurate because she does care about everyone around her. It's just that she cares about Flora and Axis one hell of a lot more.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find something real quick for you guys. So there's, I'm going to put it up in the chat just so, when other people are watching this, they don't have to be like, oh my God, what did she say? So this scene, honestly, the conversation, and you'll be able to really tell for realsies. But it was inspired by this song in particular, If I Were by Nothing More. And I really liked it. I'm like, that's so Alora there. But, so that, you know, If I Were by Nothing More, if you want to check it out, I can always drop it in my Discord server later so people can check out the link to it. But it really helped inspire the writing for this, scene in particular.
Oh God, yeah.
So after the scene, after the Abyss, we shift back to Menchio's asylum, where Gratianon is very upset about the whole deal. He doesn't understand why Alora's life is worth less than his own, and Gratianon really doesn't understand why there should be this inequality here, especially with the role that Alora has played for the gods until this point, and with the fact that Alora acted in self-defense of her friends, you know, and herself. He's like, Gratianon just can't understand why it's so wrong for her to take one life when two were going to be lost. It's his innocence. It really speaks to his innocence, as well as how much certain values and stuff we instill upon children and they learn.
Oh God,
you know, there are so many things that are taught that, you know, it's just like,
it's one of those cases where the kid is actually the one that's like kind of in the right, but it's the you know, society he grows up in that's wrong, and I really appreciate that.
And it'll be really interesting because in the story that takes place after this one, which is called When Gods Slip, it actually does cover some of Gratianon maturing and becoming more of an adult. It's going to really help look at some of Gratianon's character development after this stuff. It's not going to be the main focus. There's like there's several characters that are the main focus of the story, but Gratianon is a still important character, kind of like Larsolis is in When Souls Awaken. So, anyways, Gratianon basically gets brushed off by, his parents and other gods and told to hush so that they can start the introductions and just get on with it. And this is where we get to meet the gods and get descriptions of them. This scene was incredibly hard to write, with the need to balance the flow of the scene as well as the descriptions, together, and to provide descriptions that didn't overwhelm or bore the reader, because there's so many of them. It's very easy to get lost in that much description, because I can appreciate descriptions, but by default, no matter what I'm reading, I skim and just brush over them because they bore me. And even in stories that I like, where I like the description, I find myself physically having to stop myself and go back and be like, no, read it, because they want to input, But 99% of the time, I just skim it. And that's just it, unless it's extremely relevant to what's occurring. I'm not a great reader. I'm more interested in your characters' interactions than what your world looks like, honestly. But I'm a sucker for interactions. Because I don't get enough.
Amanda.
Anyways, we see Morsimum scold Nexiva in the next little bit, and he kind of just verbally pushes her out of the way because he's already mad he had to leave the house, and he just wants to go back home, take his pants off, and watch his soap operas, which he totally would if they existed. He's probably actually just kind of choosing dramatic mortals to watch through godly vision. He probably basically does have a soap opera.
I feel like there's exactly one town that you're gonna have to reference now on when God Slipped, since you're still working on that, but where it's just it's literally just a town that is exactly like a soap opera.
That'd be funny as hell, honestly. There's just some guy there named Morse.
Yes.
Just sitting at the bar, drinking, watching everything, and every once in a while, his wife Annie comes by and drags him out of the bar.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So,
I love it.
Anima teases Morsimum for being impatient. And something I'd like to point out here, actually, is that Allura and Axe's relationship is a mirror to... It's very similar, and it really is supposed to be a mirror to Anima and Morsimum's, in a way that the way that those two couples love each other so much. Also, their personalities. The goddess of life and the god of death are basically untraumatized versions of Allura and Axis. And it's part of why they mesh so well. And it wasn't something I think I originally planned, but as I was writing them, I was like, holy shit. It just went so well. I'm like, they really are a reflection of each other. And it was just because all I was trying to do was just write another couple that was a healthy couple, because I hate toxic relationships and stories if they're the focus and nothing happens.
Yes.
You will see a toxic relationship pop up, and we have seen it with Yuka. That relationship turned toxic, but it ended. It ended within a reasonable amount of time. It was a long time in story, but not for the reader, comparatively speaking.
Yeah, we didn't have all this, chapters and chapters of I can fix her.
Yeah, I'm not glorifying any of that. I'm not glorifying that kind of stuff. For sure. So, the goddess of, okay, no, I said that. So during this introduction, through all the gods and goddesses, okay, oh my god, I'm sorry. So during the introductions, all the gods and goddesses also state their stances. So what we have from those in attendance, those that are supporting Allura is only Larsolus and Gratianon. Those against Allura that are just going in, nope, is Noxra, Nexiva, Osirior, Erember, and Rixacalis. Remember, Osirior, she is the goddess of sanctuary. She is you should expect her to not take a side or to be for Allura, because she's all about taking in the souls that are lost. She cares for those ones that aren't moral enough for heaven or bad enough for hell. And she is also the wife of Sanokuro. So it's another thing to keep in mind there. And for undecided characters, we have Morsimum, Mentio, Anima, Viserys, and Luna Norma. And then we also have two gods that aren't undecided, but they're not for her or against her. They just refuse to take a side. They're like recused from it or whatever. And that is Sanakuro and oddly enough, Mindavis. I say oddly enough Mindavis because he has a bigger role in When Gods Slip, which, you know, will be published sometime after this is finished. Mm-hmm. And Mindavis, his whole thing is survival of the fittest. But that's kind of why he doesn't pick a side here. He just wants to see what happens. He's just, you know, he's there for the party.
Yeah, he's just kind of there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And I think it's so, like, telling that, like, Sanakuro didn't, like, take a side here.
Yeah, he's... I don't even know if it's...
whole recusing.
Yeah, he's more along the lines of the recusing himself rather than just, you know, sitting by and watching what happens.
Yeah, because I feel like in this case it's more of the I am too biased and so I can't make the decision in good judgment type of thing.
It's not... He's just like, how am I supposed to make this decision about this child? Like... Yeah. So this actually brings up the fan question of why are there so many gods undecided? And, you know, the thing is, here you have to keep in mind is the 3 gods present for the trial that have... There are 3 gods that have to be undecided at this point because they are standing in as judges, which is why they introduce themselves as undecided. So in reality, there's only 2 gods that are undecided, and that is Viserys, who wanted to make Allura a druid, and Luna Norma, the god that feels nothing but regret for not being able to help Allura when she continuously helped him without being asked. And so the chapter ends. Concludes with the appearance of Mindavis and Rixacalis. And Min is helping Rixa walk, but he, like we were saying, is just there to see what happens because he knows it'll be entertaining. And the 3 gods that are undecided are the council members, which is Mentio, which, I mean, I did say that is, Mentio, Anima, and Morsimum, but they have to be undecided. They don't have a choice. They're standing in as judges. And we're going to hear a little bit more about what they're actually thinking in Chapter 58, which we're about to hop to. So, Chapter 58, Final Judgment. I haven't made a song yet, but here we go. Axis Core, Unconscious Allura, Mentio, Gratinon, Noxera, Nexima, Airember, Orsimum, Asurior, Viserys, Sanakuro, Luminora, Rixacalis, Mindavis. Close enough. And God Chat. And in God Chat, we have one God. We have the one, the only, Anyways, so we are starting out with Kor, still wandering around in the mountains with Axis and teasing him, having a grand old time like Allura's life doesn't just hang in the balance.
It'll be fine.
Meanwhile, the deliberations have begun, and those for Allura make their case. And during the trial, they do take into account, all of Allura's deeds and prayers, and shifting through all of it, the trial can be surmised in one line that Morsimum actually says. This is just a formality that is delaying the girl's end. This reveals that the gods are already planning to execute Allura, but they're giving her the respect, which really isn't, since they've already predetermined the outcome of the trial. But they're trying to give, they're basically for appearances giving her the trial instead of just, because, I mean, if it was anyone else, they would have killed her on the spot. No question about it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have brought her back. They wouldn't have, kept her alive. They're just
be like, nope, smite.
Smite. So, a lot more is said in these scenes, obviously, with the best line probably being Larsolus asking the real questions like, did anyone like bird brains, or does anyone care that Vesutio is dead now? And everyone's just like, that's not the point, man. And so no one's even denying that no one really likes him.
I love that so much. It's just like, look, it's not that we like him.
And it's so funny because through the story, you can tell that this story is being told by a specific perspective. Because you had no idea up until this point that the gods weren't really favorable on towards Vesutio. He was kind of the odd man out. It's
Oh my
supposed
god,
to.
Mercutio was the neckbeard.
Yeah, he was. He was. But so Vesutio
Kept holding the
here.
door for the other gods and goddesses, going, "My lady."
So Vesutio here. This is your big red flag. That like, if the story was told from another perspective, the whole Vesutio thing would come across much different. It would still come across to the same conclusion, but it would be much more harsh towards him. So the eternal third wheel.
Oh my god.
I love you.
I love it.
Anyways, during the debate, though, we switch back and forth, and we go back to Core and Axis, and it appears Core has an idea, which leads me to bring up another wonderful fan-submitted question. I love you, Ruby. I just have to say that because she submitted all of the questions, and I adore her for it. And that question is Core a bit of a diva? Yes, he is, without a doubt. And he has no lack of confidence for it. And drama amuses him so long as it's in his favor. If not, he'll just smite everyone until it is in his favor. Let's be real here.
Much.
He's an interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah.
So back to the debate, we have the results of it being 2-1 in favor of executing Allura. And FYI, Mencio was the one to vote against the execution. He was the one to vote in favor of Allura being spared. He holds a deep curiosity and appreciation for the girl, but I couldn't tell you, honestly, if it's because he likes Allura or if it's because he can't figure her out, that he wants her to still exist. And because he's got such a thirst for knowledge. And I have a thirst for thighs. In the middle of the results, we see Axis walk in with Rune, and he places him in the middle of the gods. And some of the gods get irate by this, and more of them is just like, fucking just kill her and be done with it. And then poof, the sloth turns into the one, the only god of Omnia. Amina, whatever, I can't speak. And now we just need to take a moment to remember how Viserys called Rune an unimpressive creature in chapter 3. Because that shit is hilarious when you take into account who Rune really is.
Yeah.
So, actually, what happens is, poof, Rune becomes Core, and Core tells Nexiva to be a good child and shut up, and Lars is like, hey, I like this guy, but he goes, I don't like you, Larsolus, and then Morrisum is like, get rid of this fool, and Core goes, I would not recommend it, but you are welcome to try. And then poof, for realsies this time, and the god of Omnia is now standing before them. And Abervis is not small. He is not small. He big boy. And he is ancient and timeless all at once. And I love his design. I have no idea how to draw it. But one very important note here is that Abervis's core is empty. Find out more about that in chapter 61, which comes out tonight at midnight on Patreon. So that becomes apparent. So something that becomes apparent is that Allura's pendant is designed from the profile image, meaning the side of Abervis's head. The profile of Abervis. And a lot of the other symbols from the gods aren't actually from their forms. Like, Asa, Rior, so like Nexiva, she's the circle with the dot in the middle, like it's a target. And then, Arisposis is the infinity symbol with the dots in it. But, so it, like, and, Senekiro is the snake. So we don't really see a lot in the way of gods' forms actually being used as their symbol. It's just an odd little nuance about the world. I don't know why it does that, but it was just something I actually did, like, actively, purposely. I don't know why. I'm like, I just wanted to give Abervis another, unique little bit. Lastly, I'll give you this fun fact. There are only 3 gods that Abervis actually... What?
Sorry, it's just, you skipped a point.
Oh, I skipped a point. I am sorry. Oh gosh. So and this as this scene comes, I missed a big point too. And as this scene comes to its conclusion, we see that Abravis is leagues above the other gods, and I mean leagues. Okay, effortlessly freezing them all in place where they stand and declaring the exoneration of Laura from all misdeeds. We see him also declare this in the God chat, so no god, not an attendant, like no god can claim ignorance. And Abravis draws a very clear line in, that he believes all other gods to basically be insects to him, and that the last line of this chapter is another piece of gold from Larsolus, just saying, "Well, shit." And I thought that was the perfect way to end that chapter.
It really was.
And lastly, I'll give you this fun fact: there are only 3 gods that Abravis actually did like before this. Now there's like 1. I'll let you guess who that is. Anyways, on to the question section.
Yeah.
For when Souls Awaken, because I also have questions for Mighty Empathy, which is my newer story that also updates tomorrow, but that one is just strictly free so far.
Yes.
So,
All
funsies.
right. So,
let's start.
I'll be reading these questions aloud for you. So, how did I'm off to a great start. How did Kuro and Lars get there so fast, even though Cor and Axis left earlier than them?
So Kuro and Lars teleported to the right place on their first chance. Besides, Cor is kind of enjoying a nice little stroll in the mountains with his beloved Axis. Next question.
Does it feel weird to be turned into embers and floating around?
It feels warm and fuzzy, kind of like a hard drink hitting you,
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
I mean, I don't, but I'll take
for the drinker. Otherwise, it's just a warm, fuzzy feeling bubbling up inside you, basically.
Aww. So was it Cor who helped, was it Cor who helped Axis out of the darkness then?
I honestly can't remember if this is directly answered in the story or not, but at this point in the story, I'm comfortable enough to, just tell you, because it's largely implied, and it keeps getting implied, but it's never really directly said. But yes, it was Cor who helped them out of the nightmare, not just Axis, but Alora as well. Next question.
So how did the other gods bestow their power on the humans? Was it similar to how Lars did it to Axis? Did they take the time to visit every mage they had made?
So all first generation mages, and this distinction is important because when gods slip, there's new generations, because magic is genetic, or something. I don't know. We'll see. Souls are genetic apparently in this world, but so all of the first generation mages were altered personally by the god, like Axis was, except for Vesusios. So he altered his followers' soul en masse because his abilities actually allowed him, because they have more to do with souls than the other gods. He's the closest to being a soul god that there is, basically. But there really is no god of souls at this point in the story, so so it offered him a unique method to actually create mages. And plus, he wasn't giving them nearly as much power. It's a very limited ability that he gave his followers. It's not like he was trying to give someone like firepower for days. He literally only gave them the ability to see souls. And maybe like better than 20/20 vision. Like literally sight. He literally gifted sight.
Yeah.
But
I'm just imagining, like, someone going, "Oh my god, I can take my glasses off. This is so nice."
Right.
Speaking of sight, how did Vesusio not foresee his own death?
So this goes along with what I was just saying. His gift of sight is more of a soul vision, than a seeing the future sort of thing. So he can see souls, like see through them. He can see the depths of your soul, so to speak. He's more soul related than he is, like, I know he's the mage of sight, but it's more the sight of souls.
Gotcha. It's really funny. Actually, because this reminds me, like, that I think I've mentioned this before, but even though I'm a witch, I still like to make fun of the people that like to claim they have like their own innate psychic powers because they don't. But the one thing that was really funny was there was a psychic shop that was closed, and before I could stop myself, I was just like, wow, I wonder if they saw that coming.
I love that.
Tarot readings. Anyway.
So, we are right there.
Yep, I was just making sure you weren't done with that question first.
I am done with that question.
Okay. How many times has Abravis tried to make his own mage then? And why was he absent for so many years?
So these answers are to be revealed in chapter 61. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, cough, cough. Know what I mean? Drops on Patreon tomorrow.
All right. So, in other words,
that's it.
Buy her crap. All right.
That's it for When Souls Awaken questions. And now I have a handful of minding empathy questions. Woo! Mm-hmm. I don't think any of them are really spoilery. Just a heads. So they're more world questions.
It is a handful too because it's 5 of them and there's 5 fingers on the hand.
Exactly.
Perfect. So are you ready?
I'm so ready I could fall out of my chair.
All right. So what season is it?
I'm not sure. But I'm getting like a end of summer vibe, when it starts to cool off, but it's not quite fall yet. That's the vibe I get for like what time it is,
Yeah.
Next question.
All right. So what sort of climate does this particular location have?
I'm gonna say it's more of a temperate climate. So they have like seasons and whatnot, but it's kind of hard to judge because their whole system is real fucked up because of that war. It was like bad enough to shift the entire biomes. Like they destroyed the majority of the biomes. That's why you have these pocket cities, and that's why you had these like poisoned waters and stuff that they were flying over, and it was like really brightly colored and stuff. But it was like the land is obviously devastated by whatever occurred in that war, and the innocent did something that I'm still figuring out, like exactly what they did to fuck everything up that immensely.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
All right. How populated is the world? Are there any places undiscovered?
So I'm sure there's places undiscovered, but the world is fairly well populated. Think similar to, Earth type population, like, I don't know, but, at least on the other continents. But the population of Alatia, which is the continent that the story takes place on, has been devastated, and they're trying to recover. So their population is really low, and the only real place you see any like large amounts of people is in the pocket cities that still stand. Next question.
Very good. So was Sky the dog not with Elle, or was that only while they were at the lab?
So Sky is actually Lumi's dog, and Lumi got him as a way to help Eleanor out. But Sky does live at the lab with Eleanor, taking him out, for occasional walks, mostly when, Lumi is like, can you walk my dog? And so Lumi kind of got Sky with the idea of Eleanor needing a therapy dog, but knowing Eleanor would never, get one for herself. And so Lumi just kind of did the, I'm going to get what this person need and put it where they can access it, and then not tell them to use it, and maybe they'll just, kind of. But don't get me wrong, Lumi adores Sky. So, But yeah, it's a secret therapy dog, basically.
I love that so much.
Lumi actually did train Sky to
All right. So,
hence why, Sky like boofs at Eleanor when she starts getting too focused on negative emotions and stuff, or nudges her.
That.
Yeah, Lumi actually trained Sky for Eleanor. Eleanor doesn't know.
That's adorable.
Yeah. Next question.
All right. What is Killrise, and what are they doing?
So Killrise is a lab. It is basically my big bad evil guy, but not my biggest baddest evil guy of the area, But so they're a scientific lab that are performing human experimentations, which is why Hale's insurgency is so focused on taking them down. Because Alatia, with the way that it is, there is no ruling government left. It's just pockets of people that are governing themselves, and there's no rules or regulations to help mandate what is allowed or to, to stop people from doing this shit. You just have insurgencies of some people that are like, with morals that are like, yeah, I want to stop this shit because people don't deserve to, be experimented upon, or, it's a very dystopian type of situation going on. But, go on.
I was gonna say, it sounds like Alacia is like libertarian hell.
So, anyways, that concludes When Souls Awaken and Minding Empathy's Chit-Chatting, and opens it to the Aphuanian Tales. So, now, it's now Cease's turn, and I'm going to fix my avatar while she starts.
Alright. So, hi everybody. So tonight we're going to not be talking about one of my stories in particular. Instead, we're going to be talking a little bit about some of the lore that actually hasn't been talked about in the story yet. So this is not necessarily spoilers so much as some backstory and some background information for you guys. It will be touched on later, but I was just like, you know what, let's share some fun facts about aping and some of its background stuff, because I really enjoy doing that. So, today we're going to talk about the witches and wizards of aping. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the spirit gods that they work with. And I want to point out here that I use the term work with, but really it's whether it's worship or work with. There is a difference between the two. It really is based on the particular witches. What are you doing?
Trying to poke my fingers together. I'm sorry, go on.
I adore you. But basically, so, some witches and wizards prefer to work with their spirits, others worship their spirit gods. It really has a different connotations on the powers they get in the relationship that they have with that spirit god, but we'll kind of get into that later. The big thing I wanted to talk about was each particular one and what we've got. So there are 7 spirit gods worshipped in aping, one for each of the platonic elements, meaning earth, fire, water, and air, and then there's one for light, one for darkness, and one for the soul itself. And so I'm going to kind of go from like most to least powerful here, with a couple exceptions, because there's each of 2 of the gods has like 2 gods beneath them. So starting out though, I want to mention that the spirit gods, they reside in another plane. They reside in Cerevis, which is a spirit realm that's connected to aping specifically by way of a powerful artifact that resides within the city of Stockholm. Their influence pretty much spreads throughout the entire continent, but that particular kind of mana or magic is that they're able to provide is really unique to aping itself. Once you get past like a certain distance from aping, that your connection to the spirit gods is too weak to really be able to do much with anything, and the nice thing is that it's the powerful artifact specifically resides in the city of Stockholm, which is fairly well centralized within aping, while it is like a little bit to the north, but it's like smack dab in the middle as far as east and west goes almost. So prior to this artifact's arrival in aping, Decian magic as a whole was much different than it is nowadays in terms of the story. And there is actually a story about that, so we're going to get to learn more about that kind of magic and what magic was like before that. But right now I want to talk about the now. So, of these 7 spirits, the first and the most powerful of the spirits is Etzius, the spirit god of souls. So Etzius appears often as a frog. And his presence in Cerevis, in the realm of spirits, is actually what specifically grants the witch's ability to use magic so easily. He kind of serves as the bridge between the soul and the spirit's power. So while, yes, it's, that artifact grants the connection to Cerevis in aping, it's Etzius's presence within Cerevis in aping that actually makes the magic possible. If anything were to happen to Etzius, then that would be a big problem for witches. The second spirit is Hyris, spirit god of light, who often appears as an owl. I adore you.
I'm here for entertainment. I'm here to narrate with my hands.
I appreciate you. So Hyris brings light to the world of Cerberus, and his power is gifted to the spirit gods Fervus and Corvia. Now, there's a connection here, and I want to kind of explain it. So, in actual cult philosophy, the virtues of light are generally given to fire and then to air. Fire being the brightest of the platonic elements, and air being the second brightest. And so I have the spirit gods of fire and air actually being under Hyris's influence in a way. So the first of those spirits is Fervus, who is, he appears as a giant lizard, essentially. Not quite a dragon. He's definitely got some dragonistic qualities in that he can breathe fire, but he doesn't have wings. You know, he is, very much, personally, I imagine him more like a chameleon, but, like, red.
When you explained him to me, when you've written descriptions of him before, he's always come off very bearded dragon-like.
You know, I think, and that's the cool thing about Fervus, is that, like, while he has chameleon vibes to me, he also does have those, it's like...
Is it the veil?
I feel like he could go either way.
Is it that it's like a bearded dragon with a veil? Is that what
Yes.
you're thinking? Okay, I get you.
Yes, exactly. And also the eyes are weird. You know, the chameleon eyes. But, yeah, so... He is the spirit god of fire. He also represents passion and heat and haste. So passionate mages, ones that have a lot of just emotion and a lot of drive, they're the ones that really... Yeah, no, Arya, you know, we definitely, like, basically, if you got an explosive, passionate personality and you like to charge...
If your sexuality is explosives, then I got the thing for you.
Yeah, basically. I mean, basically, that is, you know, so, you know, generally younger mages especially tend to do well with Fervus's magic. They also tend to be the ones to devote themselves to Fervus.
You know, they just go, you know, like...
Senpai, notice me!
Oh my god. I love that so much. That's adorable. But yeah, so basically, so he is the spirit god of fire. And then Corvia, on the other hand, is the spirit god of air. She represents more of the wisdom and intellect. She also represents freedom of will because, you know, being air related, she tends to take the form of a giant bird. Specifically, in her case, she likes to take the form of a giant raven or a giant crow.
Oh, thank you for the follow, Savage Outlaw.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Savage. That's fantastic.
I appreciate it.
So, yeah, so Corvia, she tends to be favored among mages that have already a lot of experience with magic or have already gotten a lot of wisdom. But basically anyone that really admires... Nice. Anyway.
Sorry.
Anyone that admires...
That was a redemption.
And that, yeah.
I realized that they don't show on the video.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So we just randomly go, nice, out of nowhere.
That's fantastic. Yeah, somebody redeemed the points for the nice.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube later on, be sure to follow on Twitch as well on live because you can redeem channel points that you gain by watching the videos and make me do things like ban words and make me say nice for 69 points.
Speaking of, I have enough for a word ban, by the way.
Speaking of, it's not available on a stream.
That's perfectly fine. I was just letting you know.
But you know what is available?
Fantastic.
I did not scare myself. I don't know why I left the sound alerts up, but I did.
I feel like you're very happy with the fact that you finally got to redeem it yourself.
Yeah, kinda. Out of all the times that it's ever made me jump, which has been every time it's been played.
I adore you.
Watch the stream tomorrow to make me jump with it.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Corvia is, she's favored among experienced mages, people who tend to value intellect and intelligence, and just people who tend to have that more of that calm mind, and that calm wisdom. And that actually highlights kind of a sort of, I guess, parallel between Corvia and Hyris, in that they're both considered wise birds. You know, Hyris having that whole owl aesthetic, he very much has that wisdom to him. and Corvia being a raven or a crow, those are both very intelligent birds as well. That was very much intentional. So the third spirit then is Penumbra, who is Hyris's opposite. She is the spirit goddess of darkness. She often appears as a spider, and so like it's funny because it really depends on the context. So when most people in Athing imagine her as, you know, some like gross, disgusting like spider, like a black widow or like a friggin' like, you know, some other like horrific type of spider. But she's actually more, she prefers to take the form of like a jumping spider, like the little fuzzy guys. And, you know, so while she is
just
spirit
like,
goddess,
sorry. Do. Like that.
You have added a browser, so yep, exactly. And that's what Amanda always treats her as too.
This is adorable.
You know, and don't get me wrong, like, you know, Penumbra, when she is trying to be scary or when certain things are happening, can be absolutely frightening.
Oh, yeah.
And absolutely take on the form of a horrific spider queen. Generally, she prefers to just be, you know, a little fuzzy spider, because just because she is the spirit goddess of darkness doesn't mean she's the spirit goddess of evil. And I really want to point that out here. A common theme with Athing and the Aphuanian Tales is going to be the understanding that just because something is shrouded in darkness and might be a little scary doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually evil. And just because something is basking in the light doesn't necessarily mean that it's necessarily good. And that's something that I very much want to kind of get across.
So, I just dropped the link to the Aphuanian Tales. That's a free link to reading it for free on Tapas, which is the story we're discussing at the moment.
Yes, and ZES brings up a very important character, actually, in regard to the whole darkness thing, because Ren will, as we get further on, Ren definitely has a lot of darkness about him, but is a wonderful person as far as character goes. I mean, he's got his flaws, don't get me wrong, but there's going to be that whole darkness not being evil type of thing, and the whole using darkness for good thing is going to be a huge theme for the Fel Ren, so check that out. So getting back to Penumbra, so it's from her that the spirit gods of Shelonia and Aphidius derive their power. And just like with light, so the elements of water and earth tend to have darkness ascribed to them. So water is the second darkest element, and earth is the darkest element. At least if you're talking about, like, as far as occult philosophy goes. So,
oh, thank you, Pony, for the hydrate. I appreciate
thank you so
it.
much. That was
I
very
appreciate
nice.
it. I'm so good at this.
I'll take a sip as well.
Also, with that, I just since we have a break here, you know, since you're already interrupted, Z, this one's for you, bud. Assuming it works. Darkness.
Oh my god.
The character says darkness with a list, and I don't know why. You got me hooked on Skyrim, homie. Yeah, Skyrim is wonderful.
Fantastic. It really is.
Tomorrow I continue my Oblivion playthrough. But as you were saying.
Yes. So so we have the spirit gods now of Shelonia and Aphidius. So they both get their power from Penumbra. This isn't to say that their power belongs to Penumbra. You know, Penumbra can't like start casting water spells or something like that. But, okay, Z.
that was the Black Prior was what I just had up with the darkness.
That's fantastic. But rather it's just that their power is associated with Penumbra's and is derived from the same kind of source of Penumbra. But so Shelonia is the spirit goddess of water. She takes the form of a sea turtle in most cases, and she is kind of that calm healing of water. She's also peace, but she also has that whole depth. So one thing of that with water as an element is that on the surface level, it tends to I feel like it tends to be taken for granted,
Yeah.
but everybody kind of sees what is reflected on the water surface, but no one really understands how deep the water goes. Generally, her power tends to get often overlooked because a lot of people are just like, water magic? Okay, yeah, sure, I'll spray water at my friends or whatever. That's
Splish
definitely
splash, I was taking a bath. Na 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 na.
yeah, it's like that's definitely what I need. But really, I mean, those who devote themselves further to Shalonia, they get mastery of water in all of its forms, So like, you don't necessarily just have like just lukewarm water. You get ice. You get steam. It's not it's not just getting your friends wet. Although I am sure there are plenty of bards. I was about to say there are plenty of bards that would love to get their friends wet. Anyway, oh, you sounded nice. So I adore you. You're the best.
I have infinite points.
So next is Aphidius, the spirit god of Earth. He is fabled to be the first friend of the great witch Genevieve, a legend of aping that's actually going to be spoken of at another time. There is a whole big story regarding a lot of things with that, but that was just kind of a little bit of a lore drop. Why are you looking at me like, oh, that's right, that's just your avatar
Yeah,
face.
my avatar face is going crazy tonight.
Yeah. So, Aphidius is a spirit god of Earth, and his power is in endurance, stone, and the will to persist. He is not very often devoted to, but he definitely he influences druids especially very greatly. But a lot of mages, what they'll do is they'll actually use his stony magic for defense. So, they'll like make their skin as hard as a rock, stuff like that. It's really cool.
Sorry.
I appreciate you. So, now, as far as the spirit gods of Athing go, they're different from the big three gods of Athing that are completely, like, they are a separate pantheon, but somewhat connected as well. I'm not going to go too deep into that yet because there's a little bit of spoilerishness associated with that. But the big thing that I want to get across with them is that anyone in Aping pretty much can call upon the power of the spirit gods to perform magic, and they do so by aligning themselves emotionally and mentally with the values and the virtues that those gods, bring forth into the world. So if you want to use fire magic, you need to be passionate. If you want to use water magic, you really have to have that deep emotional energy. Corvia, it's more of that, like, practicing your intellect, practicing your wisdom, and your freedom of will.
Big brain time.
Yes. And Aphidius, it's really that, like, sturdying yourself and grounding yourself. So you have to get into the energy, and you kind of have to, like, let the will of that god kind of flow through you. And, so Hyris and Penumbra become the harder gods to kind of channel in that sense, because you have to get really heavily involved with their theme, so like worshippers of Penumbra unfortunately do have to kind of be in like a very dark place. Or they just have to have very dark emotions.
In reference to what you were saying earlier about Genevieve, did you change her name? Because Genevieve was my tribute to your character.
I did not change my name because
it was never mind.
No,
I know what you're saying.
No.
Never mind.
No.
You're using that one. Okay, I got you, boo.
Yeah. Don't spoil that.
Got you. I stopped. I figured it out. I forgot about the whole. Yeah. All right.
Yep. Because we did a thing.
Yeah.
And then I made you cry, and it was great.
Yeah. Oh wait, that wasn't great.
It was happy tears. What are you talking about?
I don't like emotions.
Yeah, well, too bad. You're gonna deal with them. Z says Norse magic is very much about sacrifice and pain, hollowing you out. So, Z, you'll probably appreciate this then. So, the thing about the spirit gods is that while anyone can call upon the power of those gods to perform magic, greater spells and greater powers from those gods really require offerings and devotions. Those who want to devote themselves to one or more spirit gods often find themselves emboldened with powers far beyond what they are capable of, but it does, come at that cost. You have to mark yourself somehow. You have to really push yourself, and there's a lot of see, I don't like emotion either. But so there is a lot of it's very intense trying to focus on one god, let alone more than one. And there are very few people that will focus on more than one spirit god at a time. Those who do, however, tend to have the greatest rewards. It's actually said or rumored that the dread pirate captain of the Crimson Tempest is a disciple of not one but 3 separate spirit gods. It's not known in what way she's devoted herself, but supposedly this character in particular is extremely ambitious and extremely driven. I wonder who I'm talking about.
I don't know. No idea.
No
It's
idea.
definitely Ezra.
We definitely don't know who the who the witch captain of the Crimson Tempest is.
It's definitely Ezra. 100%. And if it isn't Ezra, it's Aaron, the shopkeeper.
Clearly. So another thing, another little rumor.
Hats.
Oh, thanks, Easy. So, another rumor that actually about the spirit gods of Aping is that there are whispers occasionally of other spirit gods that might exist outside of the realm of common memory. But unfortunately, my recollection is getting a little bit fuzzy, so I can't really.
Fuck you!
recall.
You're gonna hurt
Love
me.
you too.
I don't trust you anymore.
But there is going to be a featured story involving the spirit gods at a later date.
You're hurting me so much right now, and I feel like I need help.
Yes. Amanda's having me arrested because I am hurting her with story details that I'm implying that she knows about that you guys don't know about.
You'll have
yet.
the privilege soon enough to be in pain.
You will
with
have
me.
the privilege very soon to be in pain because in some coming chapters there's going to be some pretty huge implications, and I cannot wait.
Yeah.
And it's actually an implication of something I've already been mildly implying for a while now. So, I have some questions that have been asked by the... Thank you, Z. So there have been some questions that have been asked by the lovely Ruby, who asked all of the questions of Amanda. So, Amanda, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor so that you can ask these questions.
Is your name? What is the velocity of a sparrow? What was Elra's and Arya's father's name? You could choose one of those 3 questions to answer.
I'm gonna go with the one that was actually asked. So, so Elra and Arya's father's name hasn't been mentioned yet. He's going to formally introduce himself the next time we see him, though, which is cool. But their father's name is Edmund.
Okay. Does that mean you're ready for the next question? Oh,
Yes.
damn it. I accidentally minimized it. Hold on, guys. I'm stupid.
I'm so
I
proud
thought,
of you.
wow, your thing actually picked that up. I thought you actually slow clapped me there for a moment.
No, that was actually, well, I did actually slow clap you.
No, I meant with the
Yeah.
Anyways, so I love all the
Thank you,
emotes.
Z.
They make me so happy. What does he look like besides the glasses and older man features? Does he have half blue hair, half red hair?
No, he does
I
not
love
have half
Ruby.
blue and half red hair. That is definitely not a thing. So, Edmund's hair is actually pure white. His beard is kind of getting curly. You know, he's got that, like, white hair, white beard
Your hair
thing
would be
going
white
on.
too if Arya was your child.
This is true. He's also a bit shorter than most his age, and his skin is actually a little bit more tan than the girls. He's their real father, but they got a lot more of their mother's traits. Their mother had crimson locks like Arya, but Elra apparently had...
Ruby!
Ruby, that's perfect. You're just in
Hello,
time
Ruby.
for,
We gushed
my
about
question.
you.
We did. So what we were saying was we're just answering some of your questions. Dear God's Ruby, you are an odd one, yes. So just to kind of real quick recap. So yeah, Edmund has white hair and white curly beard. He's a bit shorter than most his age, but his skin is a little bit more tan than the girls. they kind of took off most of their traits from their mother. And she had crimson locks like Arya's, but Elra was completely different. Fun thing about Edmund's description is that, oddly enough, it's mildly similar to Aphuanian wood elves. What a coincidence. Yes. So one interesting thing about the wood elves of Aping is that they tend to have like kind of a light brown skin, and they're one of their big features is that they have white hair.
Ah.
Yes. So a little bit of a interesting detail there.
So, are you ready for the next question? I'm sorry, I didn't know if I cut you off there or not.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, why did Edmund travel to Ren's village? Like, what the fuck?
So, honestly, they're not actually there to visit the village. Tila's village is actually a stop on the way. They're on their way to Solene City, which is the capital of Solene, to visit an old friend of Edmund's. And Arya and Elra are kind of along for the ride. Tila's village happens to just be a very good place to stop between their cottage and the city itself. They kind of live like outside in between the towns. Their home is between Tila's village and Sarkport, which is in the kingdom of Solene.
Yeah,
and
what?
So,
sorry, go on. I was just gonna say stupid shit.
No, you're fine. You can say stupid crap.
I was just gonna say one time, he left he tried to leave Arya at home, but 10 seconds later the house was on fire, a cow was screaming, they just
Yeah, and they don't even have cows.
I know. She just found one. And she
Yeah.
wanted bacon from it, and then he's like, that's not where bacon comes from, and how'd you set it on fire?
Arya is an interesting one. But in all seriousness, though, yeah. So it's just a kind of Tila's village is a stop on the way. So it just happened to be pretty convenient that they're heading in that direction and everything. So yeah, they're just kind of stopping there for a couple of days to rest, or for the night to rest. It'll probably be a couple of days at this rate, seeing as how they're making good friends.
Yeah. So, what time of year is it during this particular story?
So at this point, it's early summer during the month of Gemnis. So for us, like the real world equivalent, it would be like around June.
God. If you follow with next question, I'll know to go to the next question.
Next question. Sorry, I was just.
I'm just like sitting here jamming out to my own music, but like paying it. I don't know what I'm doing.
All right.
Anyways, do they have any sort of schooling, or is that more of a city thing?
So I've kind of answered this question before with Ren and Hawk as well, but I really want to kind of point out and stress that formal schooling really doesn't exist outside of the major cities in Aping. In fact, most Aphuanians are illiterate, and most Aphuanians just haven't had actual schooling. Like, if anything, like their schooling would have come from like a trade of some sort, or like an apprenticeship. There are rich kids in the cities whose parents can afford the education and the formal education. They will get it, but not in this case. That said, Elra is extremely intelligent for her age, and she's almost always studying. So she just reads a hell of a lot, and she learns a lot from that. Next question.
Okay. Those vicious captains are so cute right now. I love them so much.
Okay, that wasn't a question.
Question
but you are
mark?
right, they are baby.
I love them so much.
Yes, they are adorable, and I love drawing. I love writing the kid versions of these characters. Arya is only going to get more and more fun. I can assure you of that.
So, how old are the girls at this point?
So at this point, they are both 7 years old. They're about a year and a couple of months younger than Ren.
All right. So, how big is this village that Ren lives in? Is it big enough for his ego or his anger?
It is not big enough for his anger. In fact, it's not very big at all. And by that I mean it's a village that it's literally a one-horse town, one-road town. They've got one main road that is a dirt road running up through the center, and they've got like a dozen houses and like a tavern and a general store, and that's it.
Just a full disclaimer: the anger bit was just ad-libbed. I thought that would be funny. Where is it located? If I were to look at your map.
So there is no.
Also, sorry if it was said in the story.
So
Sorry.
no need to apologize. It definitely wasn't. So
I apologize
know.
for not putting in the sorry.
I adore you so much. No, Tilas village is located in the western part of Solene, the kingdom of Solene, which is the southernmost kingdom in Aphing. So Solene is kind of like a peninsula down, and so if you're looking at the west coast of the peninsula, you would go kind of inland. There's a long road spanning from Tenlin village up to Solene city directly. Tilas is about where the river and the road are kind of like right by each other, and there's like a stream and everything that the road crosses. And that is where Tilas village is. Next question.
Is there hope that we may see his parents again?
So, I know a lot of people are worried about what's going on with Ren's parents. They left on this wonderful trip that was supposed to be like, they were supposed to be back in 2 weeks, and now it's been like, almost a month, and they're still not back, and that's kind of a problem. But
It's
I
concerning.
can assure you, it is concerning, but I can assure you that you will find out what's going on with Ren's parents as soon as Ren does.
Mm-hmm.
If he ever finds out. Anyway, next question.
What is Hawk's favorite food, or does he even have a favorite? Lol.
So, Hawk's favorite food is whatever happens to be in front of him. That said, he likes cheese.
So, before their parents went away, what did Ren want to be when he grows up?
So, Ren wanted, and still wants, because this has not changed in the least bit, to be a Knight of Solene, just like his dad.
What about Hawk?
Hawk has not considered that at any point he will be an adult. He is 6 and thinks that that is just going to be how things stay.
What about celery? I don't know,
What?
my mom always
What?
Anyways, is there a reason for their bird-style names?
Nope.
They're just birds of a feather?
Yeah, they're birds of a feather, and the story is for the birds. So, fun fact about that, actually. So, Ren and Hawk's names were kind of made up on the spot for a flashback scene regarding a thing, but that whole thing is surrounded by spoilers. So I have a fun story once we learn more about the two of them. We'll just say that.
Yep.
And that's all the questions I've got.
That concludes
Yep.
the StoryTime Chit-Chat proportion of... Okay. Anyways, I'm taking over now, bitches. Just kidding. No, you're not bitches. You're all wonderful. I love you so much. You're all so wonderful.
We love you.
But, so, next stream is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that will be the continuation of Oblivion doing Mage's Guild bullshit. Otherwise, the next content to actually drop is in about 27 minutes. The commentary edition update will be out, and same with that's for the mage tiers of Patreon, and same with the new chapter, which is chapter 61, which will answer some of Ruby's questions. Which will be really interesting. I'm looking forward to doing that one later on. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, that the chapter 61 comes out next week on Tapas and Wattpad for free. But otherwise, there is a chapter releasing tomorrow for Tapas and Wattpad. So that'd be good. Oh, and that's what I forgot to mention is that I actually caught Fictionate up to everything. So check out that link tree, and you'll find the links to all my stuff on all my platforms. Fictionate is free, and there's a crappy little AI that'll read it to you. So if you can't, if you can't focus on reading a novel, you can listen to the AI read it. Eventually, what I'm going to do is crappily read it myself and post it to YouTube for my peoples that are interested in the story, but they, they don't have the attention span for reading a novel, which I don't blame them at all. And then I'll upload that also to different audio ones that have different sites that allow audio to be attached to the book as well. Because I mean, I might not do voices, but I think my voice is a little more better than that AI.
Yeah.
I mean, not to be, you know, but
So what you are saying is you don't want the whole story to sound like this really fast and also in a monotone voice at the same time somehow.
yeah, yeah. But so that will be fun because but you know that'll put it in other places and it'll be nifty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh,
I don't
did
know when
we
that's
win?
gonna happen. Oh, Storytime Chit-Chats will be I'm hoping to get them updated and uploaded and published on YouTube tomorrow. However, this Storytime Chit Chat won't be up tomorrow on YouTube because of agreement issues and stuff like that. So this one will be up next week probably. But I'm going to try and get all the Storytime Chit Chats up next. Like that's my next priority. Otherwise, tonight I have some art I need to work on for when Souls Awaken. But after that, I will be working on publishing all my YouTube crap, which includes a ton of clips from the streams and whatnot. And it's just, it's a lot. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, guys. But either way, tonight is thumbnails after the stream. But that's a me thing.
All right. So I also have a couple of announcements if you're ready for that.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. Excellent. I adore you. All right. So so first things first. Tomorrow is the next episode of the Aphuanian Tales of the Fell Wren specifically. That's going to drop tomorrow morning, so you should be able to. Most people should be able to read it when they wake up. It drops at 6 p.m. PST, which is or AM. Sorry. So it'll be around like 9 o'clock Eastern time when it drops. I like to drop the Aphuanian Tales in the mornings. So on Patreon, that version will actually be up to date and everything tomorrow as well. But here's the thing. So patrons are going to get not tomorrow's episode, but next or 2 weeks from now's episode 2 weeks early. Because next week's Tapas episode is actually going to be a break week for me, and it's just going to cover a couple of announcements and stuff.
Which reminds me, my Discord server, you guys need to be on Hippie's ass because I keep threatening her that, you know, I'm gonna turn you all guys to yell at her to take the break like you did for me because that was really nice and she's contemplating not listening to me. So
I'm gonna be good, I promise.
okay, I'm just saying.
Yes. No, it'll be okay. It's a break week from the story so that I can specifically focus on the not story stuff that I have because I got a lot of not story stuff that I got.
Because you think I'm crazy with my stuff. You should. Hippie might not be putting out as much content, but boy, is she doing all sorts of shit.
Yes, I am doing a lot of stuff. So next week is a break from the Aphuanian Tales for me. So there will be an episode drop, but it's not an actual story episode. It's just a little intermission thing that Amanda and I worked on a little bit. So nothing too crazy. Not a full episode by any means, but patrons do have access to the next actual episode tomorrow because it is already done. But then next Friday you don't get an update.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, you know, it's going to be a 2-week span between your next one, which is fine. And also I have announcements I kind of mentioned before, but I have been doing a lot of witchy stuff lately, getting really big into my spirituality. So I am offering tarot card readings and oracle dice readings, which you can actually find the prices and all that stuff in my link tree on my Patreon and my Ko-Fi. So check that out. I based the prices partly on just my skill with divination, which from what I've gathered from everybody else is fantastic, and that's just, you know, me humbly bragging. I'm an extremely modest person.
Oh, so modest.
I am the most modest person I know. but also just the time it takes. So like a tarot card reading I can get done in like 15-20 minutes, whereas an oracle dice reading I'm looking at anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, so your price is going to reflect that. I am very humble, Ruby, thank you. I also am doing sigil commissions, which those I am still experimenting with the prices, but people can send me a private message for more information on that. The next Sigil Sunday is actually going to be a commission from Ruby, because she is a Patreon supporter, and as such she can choose to request either a tarot reading or a sigil commission, because it'll be one of those either or situations. I unfortunately can't do both unless you're like a really high up tier.
Yeah. All right. I think that concludes us for tonight. So be sure to, check out when Souls Awaken or the Aphuanian Tales. Here's the direct links. That's the Aphuanian Tales. Tapas is completely free to read on and subscribe to. When you subscribe to us on Patreon, not Patreon, oh my god, Tapas, it really helps, especially since I still need enough Patrons to, oh my god, Tapas subscribers to unlock ad revenue.
Yes.
I can word. So there's When Souls Awaken. When Souls Awaken is a dark fantasy, if you couldn't tell by the earlier part of the stream or if you weren't here for it. It's we're really getting into the parts of the story I was really excited about writing. Not that I wasn't excited about all of it. I mean, I love all of my story, but I'm super hyped to be where I'm at, because I'm finally getting closer to the war arc of the story, which is like the final arc of the story. But
oh hell yeah.
Where a lot of shit, there's like a lot of little arcs and stuff in between, but like the war is like, I believe, the last major arc of When Souls Awaken, and we are getting close to 100,000 words in, which is roughly around 200 pages. So, and we got 200 more to go, hon. So, pages, that is. But I'm super excited to keep going. It's been a hell of a year so far. But yeah, so be sure to check us out. You can get all of our content for free, basically. If you want early access, that's when it starts costing some stuff. And supporters are very well appreciated. If you do end up subscribing to me on Twitch and you are interested in my story content, I have no problem giving you the same access that I do my Patreons to the stories, because the cheapest tier on Patreon is $3, and the cheapest the only subscription on Twitch is like, what, $5?
Yeah, something like that. Well, it depends. There's like different levels.
Well, the cheapest one,
like,
right?
Yeah, the cheapest one is around like $5, so it's like it evens out.
Yeah. So basically, that's all I got, peeps and meeps and wonderful. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate the hell out of you. Big thanks to our Ko-fi supporters and Patreon supporters and my subscribers as well. I'm so excited to be getting to this point in my Twitch career, I guess is the way to call it now. I don't know. Here we are. But either way, tomorrow is the next stream at 10 p.m. continuing Oblivion with the Magus Guild. Stay healthy, everyone. Love you very much. This is, Hopeful Attempt and HippieGhost signing off. We're gonna come up with a sign off, guys. That'll be fun. Instead of, bitches, we're hanging up now.